You might get hung up on railroad tracks if crossing the tracks. Railroad crossings with steep approaches can cause your unit to hang up on the tracks. Never permit traffic conditions to trap you in a position where you have to stop on the tracks. Be sure to get all the way across the tracks before you start to cross. Do not shift gears while crossing railroad tracks. To prevent brake fade, you should. Which of these is not a danger when an automatic transmission is forced into a lower gear at a high speed? Be in the right gear before starting down the grade. Shift the transmission to a low gear before starting down the grade. Do not try to downshift after your speed has already built up. Forcing an automatic transmission into a lower gear at high speeds could damage the transmission and also lead to loss of all engine braking effect. With older trucks, a rule for choosing gears is to use the same gear that you would use going down the hill as you would going up. However, new trucks have low friction parts and streamlined shapes for fuel economy. They may also have more powerful engines. This means they can go up hills in higher gears and have less friction and air drag to hold them back going down hills. For that reason, drivers of modern trucks may have to use lower gears going down a hill than would be required to go up the hill. You should know what is right for your vehicle. Which statement is true about using engine braking? Proper braking technique. Remember, the use of brakes on a long and or steep downgrade is only a supplement to the braking effect of the engine. Once the vehicle is in the proper low gear, the following is a proper braking technique. 1. Apply the brakes just hard enough to feel a definite slowdown. 2. When your speed has been reduced to approximately 5 miles an hour below your safe speed, release the brakes. 3. When your speed has increased to your safe speed, repeat steps 1 and 2. Escape ramps. Proper braking technique. Escape ramps have been built on many steep mountain downgrades. Escape ramps are made to stop runaway vehicles safely without injuring drivers and passengers. Escape ramps use a long bed of loose, soft material to slow a runaway vehicle, sometimes in combination with an upgrade. No escape ramp locations on your route. Signs show drivers where ramps are located. Escape ramps save lives, equipment, and cargo. Use them if you lose your brakes. Which of these is correct about emergency or evasive action? Keep both of your hands on the steering wheel. In order to turn quickly, you must have a firm grip on the steering wheel with both hands. The best way to have both hands on the wheel if there is any emergency is to keep them there at all times. To avoid a crash, you had to drive onto the right shoulder. You're now driving at 45 miles an hour on the shoulder. How should you move back onto the pavement? Stay on the shoulder. If the shoulder is clear, stay on it until your vehicle has come to a stop. Signal and check your mirrors before pulling back onto the roadway. Control braking. Control braking. With this method, you apply the brakes as hard as you can without locking the wheels. Keep steering wheel movements very small while doing this. If you need to make a larger steering adjustment or if the wheels lock, release the brakes. Reapply the brakes as soon as you can. Controlled braking is used to keep a vehicle in a straight line when braking. Your vehicle has hydraulic brakes. While traveling on a level road, you press the brake pedal and find that it goes to the floor. Which of these statements is true? Pump the brakes. Sometimes pumping the brake pedal will generate enough hydraulic pressure to stop the vehicle. What does emergency braking mean? Emergency braking. Use the parking brake. The parking or emergency brake is separate from the hydraulic brake system. Therefore, it can be used to slow the vehicle. However, be sure to press the release button or pull the release lever at the same time you use the emergency brake so you can adjust the brake pressure and keep the wheels from locking up. Most serious skids result from driving too fast. Most serious skids result from driving too fast for road conditions. Drivers who adjust their driving to conditions don't over accelerate and don't have to over brake or oversteer from too much speed. How do you correct a rear wheel acceleration skid? Drive wheel skids. By far the most common skid is one in which the rear wheels lose traction through excessive braking or acceleration. Skids caused by acceleration usually happen on ice or snow. They can be easily stopped by taking your foot off of the accelerator. If it is very slippery, push the clutch in. Otherwise, the engine can keep the wheels from rolling freely and regaining traction. Which of these is true about notifying authorities after an accident occurs? Notify authorities. If you have a CB, put out a call over the emergency channel before you get out of your vehicle. If not, wait until after the accident scene has been properly protected, then phone or send someone to phone the police. Try to determine where you are so you can give the exact location. When is it necessary to learn how a fire extinguisher works? When there is a vehicle fire, get your vehicle off the road and firefighting. Knowing how to fight fires is important. Fires have been made worse by drivers who didn't know what to do. Know how the fire extinguisher works? Study the instructions printed out on the extinguisher before you need it. Here are some procedures to follow in case of a fire. Pull off the road. The first step is to get the vehicle off the road and stop. In doing so, park in an open area, away from buildings, trees, brush, other vehicles, or anything that might catch fire. Don't pull into a service station. Notify emergency services of your problem and your location.